Welcome everybody to the Monday Morning Marketing Meeting. I'm your host, Nick Love. Like me, love me, follow me right here on Fanbase. We do this call every single Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this app. Shouts out to Isaac for providing the platform and allowing us to get on here and get our nerd on, when it comes to marketing right here on this app all the time, man. So appreciative of him as always. As the call implies, and as the title implies, we talk about marketing strategies, ideas, concepts, things to get your creative juices flowing for the day, the week, the month, the remainder of the year. We are in mid-September? Yeah, today's the 15th. Mid-September, about to get into Q4. Shit, we about to get into Q4 in like less than 2-3 weeks. We're gonna be at Q4, man. So I hope that you guys are ready to end this year strong, and I hope September has been good to y'all. Luckily, I don't have to do this call by myself. I'm joined by some of my smart, amazing, funny, brilliant, handsome, beautiful, creative friends who are up here on the stage. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Street Tiff, and we're missing a few of my normal my day ones that are usually up here. But I'm sure they'll be joining us shortly because I've been talking to them literally all weekend in one capacity or another. Before we get rolling, join the campfire if you haven't already. I know there's an icon up here for you guys to join. So join the campfire so you'll know when we're starting these calls. Also, share the room. Hit that arrow icon in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Share the room, text the room, tweet the room, Facebook the room, whatever it is that you do. Let people know that we're about to get this conversation started. I didn't have a flyer today. Y'all gotta bear with me. I'm actually gonna still do the flyer because one, I enjoy doing them. Two, just had a lot going on this morning, so apologies for that. But I am gonna promote the call in success. I know sometimes that's how people know that we're on, and just they assume that we're not on sometimes when I don't do the promo leading up to the call. So I'm trying to knock that out while we're talking. Isaac, any updates on Fanbase we need to know about before we get rolling?
None that I can talk about, but we're cruising along. Yeah, we're cruising along. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep all of our internal progress. We're keeping it under wraps until it's time to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that. All right. Well, let's get started, man. I want to talk about today's topic. Today's topic is, are we back outside? And I mean that, kind of figuratively and literally. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Cardi B and her album rollout. Cardi is out here at, she started a online bodega. She is like selling like stuff on the curb in New York. She has been literally just kind of pounding the pavement like herself, not a street team, not sending out, a promotional crew to go out and do things on her behalf. Like Cardi herself has been out and about in New York, just kind of on the streets, really being an active participant in her promo. I saw a young guy, and I have like another group chat with a few of the marketing people who are on this chat. The street, I didn't forget about you. Actually, I did, but I didn't. But I need to add you to that chat. But there was a young guy. He's a rapper. I just can't remember who it was, but I got a good chuckle out of this. He was doing an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, I just seen this interview with with Jeezy and Coach K, and they were telling people that they used to go out to like barbershops and like clubs and pass out their music." And I'm like, "Oh shit! Did he just discover flyers and mixtapes and like talking to people?" But I mean, it was like this shocking revelation to him of like, man, like people back in the day used to actually go and talk to people as opposed to just posting things online. And you could just see like a light bulb went off in his head. And I was like, oh shit, this kid just discovered this in like 2025. Gary knows. Gary saw the thing that I posted, and I got to go find that video. But in lieu of this kid discovering essentially street team promo, Cardi being outside, literally doing what she's doing, the rollout that we saw the clips doing, that we all kind of ranted and raved over, that is seemingly starting to become the norm. I know that we've talked about this on the call, and y'all know I run a street team, a street promo company. So of course I'm biased. I'm in favor of everybody wanting to pass out flyers, put up posters, do a lot of boots on the ground style campaigning. But I also know that Isaac has said we're never going back to that. Technology, everything, just is so far beyond, kind of that type of promo. And there's, from a cost effective standpoint, from a time consumption standpoint, just from every way that you look at the metrics, for sure, it is definitely more cost effective to post online, to go after TikTok, Instagram, fan base, whatever it may be, to use these social media apps, YouTube, and everything else to kind of promote your product, your brand, your artistry, whatever it is. But it does seem like we're heading slightly towards a return, or not, maybe not a full return, but at least starting to see people um add that to their marketing mix. And I want to see how everybody feels about that. I want to throw that out there and say, like, okay, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a return to something, or are we just looking at somebody saying, all right, cool, let's add a couple of, another 5% of our marketing budget, let's devote it to the street team stuff, but the 95% is still going to what we normally would have done on the digital side. What are we actually looking at? What are we seeing? And where do we think this trend is going to go? Because I think we're starting to see, I think it's going to be adding, just adding it more to the marketing mix. But I do think it's not going to be the 2%, 5%. I think at some point we are going to see possibly a 30, 40%, like, hey, we need to be outside and in people's faces, versus just relying 100% on digital, or just being like, oh, we're just going to sprinkle a couple bucks over here to the outside stuff. I just want to hear what everybody has to say. Isaac in particular, I definitely want to hear what you have to say, but I'm going to throw it to my stage first. And of course, at the midway point, we'll let the people in the audience be a part of the conversation. And as always, the chat is wide open. So,
I mean, me personally, jump in and just say that I texted you the video. There's a young dude, a rapper named Zillionaire Doe. That's
yeah, it was dope. It was Yo Gotti's artist. Yep.
Yeah. But the thing about it, with regards to where we're headed, you know how they always say whatever, things that are older will always become new. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas are wearing flared pants and jeans again. So at the end of the day, I think it definitely will circle back. But I think this generation here in specifically is going to enjoy very much, including that hand to hand, face to face social interaction part, to what they already have going on socially. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think they are going to enjoy it. I do think marketing teams are going to, of course, monkey see, monkey do. They're going to be like, well, Cardi can't, especially like, people are going to lose their jobs. Like, nigga, why didn't we think of it? Like, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to duplicate it. And, because people have a fear of missing out on special opportunities, especially after they've seen someone else have one.
Yeah, I agree. I think for sure, and like you said, that was my main thing, Gary. Monkey see, monkey do. I think people are going to say, well, if Cardi can go outside, if Cardi as big as she is, the personality as she is, as rich as she is, if she can get outside and do something, it's going to be hard for a company not to look at new rapper X over here and say, hey man, if she can go outside, you absolutely gonna have to get out here and do what you do. Now, again, a younger rapper might be targeting a younger audience, and the younger audience may not be outside. And I think that is the question that we have to kind of factor in as well, right? Like when I was working with Jeezy, like I said, remember I did 8-9 years as the VP of marketing for CTE. When we was doing it, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. We had to be outside. We had to be at the strip club. We had to be at the barbershop. We had to be at the skating rinks. We had to be where the people were. That was how you reached people, by moving around and being at the clubs and being where people gathered at. People are now gathering on social media. So, how far does this actually go? I mean, Isaac, like I said, I definitely want to hear what you got to say, because you've been adamant, you know what I'm saying, about it. So you tell me, what do you think?
Well, I think what's going on, honestly, is people are trying to overcompensate for actually the lack of really good music. I think that we're at a point right now where we're not really putting out the best music. That's my opinion. That's just me. I mean, I don't, I know what young people, I know that young people are into things that they're into, but we're not really putting out, you know, smash, amazing, crazy records. And I know that the entire world is kind of splintered through media and everybody's in their own silos. But what I see is artists kind of making excuses for the lack of promotion that their product gets. But I think everybody, good product promotes itself in a sense, and so I know that people are trying to do a lot of different tricks and things and interviews and all those things to let people know Cardi's marketing plan of going outside. But I think the music itself has to be what, the music itself has to be what really gets people going. If it ain't that, then what are we talking about? And that's the thing that I see is that the music isn't good. Plus, digitally, I just think like again, there's no more effective way to actually market and promote um, yourself better than you can online. So it's really interesting. I mean, I saw that in the last like didn't Lotto and Ice Spice go on Kai Cenat stream?
Yep.
Yeah, they went on his stream. Um, it's we're getting away from making quality music, but I think also we're getting away from the fact that the industry is changing and uh and that music is going to always be a part of it, but it's not going to be the driver of what gets artists their success. And that's kind of what has me concerned. I don't think we're going back outside. I think the outside that people want are really good concerts, really good shows. There's nothing wrong with that. I think those are incredible. But other than that, I don't see it. We just not, I mean, can you name like really any the last real, I guess, feel like I guess hits were in the last year was definitely Kendrick, with Luke Luther was a hit, you know, They Not Like Us was a hit, Glorilla had some hits, Tommy Richmond. Those are like the last records that I remember that just took over and were just extremely impactful. Until then, I think artists are just dropping projects and throwing things out there to see if they stick. Justin Bieber just dropped like 60 songs in 2 weeks. I don't know why he did that. Lizzo just dropped like 40 records. I think a lot of artists are trying to get out of their deals right now because Lizzo just dropped like 40 songs and Justin Bieber just dropped like 40 songs. And so I think artists are just like, I'm over it. I'm just going to put out some work to get out of my deal, make some money, get on the road, perform. You know, Chris Brown probably has one of the bigger records that's out right now. And I don't know how that's performing with him and Bryson Tiller. So that's what it is. It's just the music starts with everything. I hear more popular songs on TikTok than I do on everybody talking about their record. Like I'm telling you, go on TikTok. That's where the TikTok is where the real music is that I remember. Like um what's the song? It's like front back. I can't think of the
Oh,
name
the
of the
Michael
song.
Montana record. Do
No,
it.
no, no,
Girl, I
Yeah.
love how
no, no, no,
we
no, 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 no.
go away.
It's a song on TikTok called hold on. Hold on. See, it's like okay, it's called yeah, front, back, right, left, whatever. I'm gonna give you Gary. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna show you the songs that's popping right now that the kids are into, but we're not. The industry is not taking those records, and they're not pushing those records because those are the hottest records out right now. Like even the one record that Metro has, that record is super viral on
Yeah,
TikTok right now.
Take me through there.
he was talking about that
Yeah,
in the Big Facts interview, just talking about how a lot of the girls are using TikTok to break their records, and mostly it's the young girls here in Atlanta, and specifically that one record on the Metro album. But yeah, I think you're right. To piggyback off that, I think you are correct. Like, music is supposed to be the currency, but in an era where content is king, that's where I think there is an opportunity for them to pivot towards being in the streets and creating a street team type of a vibe around themselves to just gain more media attention and add that to your social media as, just a bigger stick. But the thing is, Cardi has a lot of personality to trade in, to trade, to trade with. And I think a lot of artists, especially since the pandemic, just through my experience, have kind of hidden themselves behind the guise of being introverted, as opposed to, giving themselves permission to be extroverted for the purpose of promoting yourself, handling your business, and then going back home and being introverted for 2 days.
I mean, I mean, you make good points, Isaac, for sure. I mean, like I said, I don't. TikTok isn't going anywhere, right? Instagram isn't. These social media apps, they're not going anywhere, or at least anywhere anytime soon, right? Yes, these are the primary vehicles, and we have very much stepped into a much more digital space, more than ever, right? But this I've said this on this call before. I believe in putting paint where it ain't, right? And if everybody's on digital, who's outside? And the people who are outside, like the reason that we ranted and raved about the Clips rollout, and if I remember Dean saying this because Dean had said he had spoken to Shaka, who was Ludacris's manager and the owner of Disturbing the Peace along with Luda. Shaka's thing was they didn't do anything special. They just did a thing that nobody else had been doing in a while. We only ranted and raved about it because we just hadn't seen anybody do it. And to a certain degree, he was right. They just went out and did a shit ton of interviews, sat with the right people. Things were very intentional. Things were very purposeful. And we looked at that rollout as essentially a throwback to what it used to be. But the reason it stood out is because it wasn't 100% digital. It wasn't just Instagram post, a countdown on IG, going to the streamers or whatever. They actually were out and about, moving around. They sent the album out in advance, allowed people to review the music, allow people to write, think pieces about the marketing rollout, the album itself, their favorite song, the whole nine. But these were things that were done commonly back in the day. And I think that, we're starting to see a cycle, right? When everybody was outside, the people who went digital kind of were ahead of the curve. Now that everybody's digital, it looks like the people who are going to be outside will be ahead of the curve. Like, I'm hoping that this Cardi B rollout goes well, because if it doesn't, I think it will in some ways kind of diminish or kind of sour the view on actually doing all of this. Somebody will look at it and say, see, she did all that and she only sold fill in the blank, whatever that number is. I think that I'm rooting for this album to do well. One, because I like Cardi, but also because it will show the value in doing so and actually going out and touching the fans personally.
Yeah.
Will it pay off? I guess we'll see.
But see, the thing to add to that, with regards to the Clips specifically, and maybe even Cardi, I'm sure she feels this way, but they were very, and this goes back to what Isaac said as well. They were very proud of what the product that they put out. You see what I'm saying? Like they wanted it to be judged, and they wanted it to be heard and thought about. Like they had a sense of pride in their product. You know what I'm saying? They felt really confident going out and presenting it to everybody that they sat down with, as opposed to someone who, may not take their career as serious and may not take their talent as serious. And, like you said, that shows in the product, because the music's not hot. Just overall, generally speaking, if there's a generation of artists who aren't hot behind their own music, then they can't be seen with it, in fear of, if the shit is cold, like you said, why were you outside doing all this stuff and then your music don't even get no motion? I think Cardi knows her music is going to be hot, so she don't mind betting on herself in such a way.
I don't know about that.
I was just saying, I don't know about that either.
I
think
no about that.
because I think some of this is because the music is not going to be.
Well, I mean, you notice like people aren't dropping like the traditional way of just dropping an amazing record and letting the record live and be the thing that people talk about and talk about and talk about and talk about before the video comes out. Now artists are dropping the record, the video, they go and perform. They're doing it all at one time. So there's no momentum. It's like not anything like that's just like, and then when you think about it, like I just don't see any of the young, like where are the young stars at? Like who are the young star rappers? I'm not like, who's 19, 20, 23, 24 just running the game as the biggest artist in music right now. And I think that a lot of those artists are getting overlooked, and they're not being. I'm telling you, I see these records on TikTok all the time. Like I can't get them off my feed because I'm always looking for like culture. And so the front, back, right, left, Itch Get In Here record. I don't know if I'm gonna send you one of the challenges on YouTube that you can play, Gary. But I'm telling you, like the girl that they just had the track and field joints, and she was just doing it last night. Like they was doing that. Like these are records that when we were younger, like these would be the biggest records in our high school, or you know what I'm saying, or on radio, and they're not playing those records.
So would it behoove these artists to be able to create a street presence for themselves, to show up at the high schools and do the dance in person with the track
I just
team?
don't. I just don't think radio is acknowledging independent, bubbling music. Like they're not acknowledging that. They're just acknowledging the top guys that are putting out records. They're not paying attention to the younger kids. It's just I'm telling you, I hear a lot of hot music all the time, and I'm like, yo, why this song not like doing what it's doing? It's like, why this song not taking over?
So to that point, isn't that like, say for instance, like early 2000s, late 90s, isn't that why that independent college radio was important? Like, do we have independent radio?
You don't need that. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got all these, you got
So,
these platforms.
so how do you close the gap between outside radio and because it doesn't have to go backwards, but there can be a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a TikTok star, you should be showing, especially if you're within your age group, you should be showing up at the skating rink to go viral. To take your song off of TikTok and put it on yourself, to put the spotlight on yourself by being outside like Cardi. You know,
I think sometimes we talk about it like we are like. I'm looking at like I'm literally looking at. I'm gonna try to find a compilation so I can show you of like this is all the kids are doing right now. There's no way that this song has this many challenges to it, and it's not like at least top 20 on radio right now. I think there's a disconnect between what
You
the
know
kids
how,
are.
but you know how radio works. Like
No,
you
no,
know,
no,
it's
no, no,
not
no.
just like hot on TikTok doesn't equal top 20 record at radio. You know, that's a completely different.
But what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is, independent songs, even before they were buzzing, those songs would get deals. Then the label would put money behind the record, and then it would blow. It was like Hit the Quan, like that. That's what Hit the Quan was. Hit the Quan was a viral dance challenge, and then they took some money, and then they made it. They did a deal, and then they made the record what it is. I don't think they're doing that with these artists right now, or maybe these artists don't want these deals. That's what I'm saying.
But I think it's that they're more independent. So I found the record that you're talking about. It's Robin Rashida.
Yeah, but that's not. But there's a remix. There's a remix that's going out there, and that's the one that I want to I'm gonna send it to Gary.
But it's also like people have, especially with TikTok, people have like short attention spans. Not only are they not listening to whole entire albums, they're not even listening to whole songs at this point. Like, I think my favorite artist out right now is probably Big Pluto. And she got hella records on TikTok right now, but she won't break that top 10. I think
But
it's the
also,
marketing.
and not to cut you off though, but I mean, I know like y'all don't live in Atlanta, but Pluto, YK Niece, all them little young girls that y'all talking about, you know what they've been doing? They've been outside. If you look on, if you look at TikTok for
Facts.
real, they ain't just been a bunch of challenges. Them girls have been at every club, every park. They just shot the video for the "Take Me Through That" record with Metro Boomin. Like that song that's been trending, the thing that Isaac's talking about. Them girls are outside. They're not doing. It ain't just straight TikTok. It is no longer just sitting on TikTok and putting a song out. Those girls have been moving around like how quote really how the boys used to do. How the guys used to move around and be out in the city and popping shit at the clubs and doing the thing. The girls are doing it now, but they're leaving the house at this point. It is no longer just put my song on TikTok, sit back until I'm famous.
good.
Put like
The boys just want to stream at this point. They just want to sit in front of
oh,
in a chair and
you might
stream.
you might have said something with that. You know what? You might be right.
I mean,
It's
there has,
hold on, Gary. It's 10:30 basically. I do want to start getting people from the
Yeah, you
participate in the
them
conversation.
girls.
So if you have any questions or comments that you want to add to the convo, please raise your hand and Gary will get you up here on the stage. But go ahead, what you was going to say, Gary?
no, I was saying like that's exactly what we're talking about. They're doing a great job of actually taking advantage because, like I said, people have done a great job of sheltering themselves during and since the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be special to be able to again create a street team atmosphere around yourself and your project. and add going viral to it, especially if you know you're already riding that wave of virality. You know what I'm saying? Just like, well, shit, let me just be outside so these people can see who I am. The people who are doing my dance, let me go and do this shit with them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that's the key. That's the sauce now.
But is that the point anymore? Like, I know, Gary, you've used that word twice in this call. You've said, trying to go viral or virality. Like, I don't. Are we trending away from that? I mean, yes, we want everything that we do to kind of have mass appeal and reach, large numbers. But it feels like, I don't know if Cardi's going outside to go viral. I think Cardi's going outside to be like, hey, like, kind of almost like a politician. Like, hey, I want to go, shake hands and kiss babies. So like, y'all will like me. And it's not about going viral. It's about having that one-on-one kind of interaction and being like, you know what? I like Cardi. Let me go
She's
buy this.
past that though. Cardi is a global superstar. She's past that.
So why she out? If that's the case,
This is what I think. If you want me to be honest, this is what I think is happening. I think that this is exactly what I think is happening. I think that the new guys up in Atlantic said her album ain't hot, so she needs to get outside and do some promo. And her being her said, okay, I'm gonna go outside and do promo, because she keeps talking about the budget for her video. She's like, since I shot the video for Imaginary Players, I don't have no budget for another song, so I got to go promote my single. And I think she's just being petty and doing and promoting her album that way, because the new regime up Atlantic is not cutting her no crazy check that she wants to do to promote her album. That's what I think is happening. That's why she's doing this. I just think the Atlantic Records is like, yo, we done gave you a bunch of damn money. We not gonna give you no more money, so you better get out there and promote it on your own and do it that way. And I think that's why she's doing it that way.
She took too long to drop that album, so I agree with Isaac. Like, they was not trying to give her no money, but she just went back to what she's good at, and it's touching the people, right? She starts in New York, she starts moving around, showing up places, and her fans like that shit. And I think even like, because she dropped a lot of covers for the album. It's like 1,000 different versions of the shit, like collectors items for it, a lot of merch for it. If you go on the website, and she's just trying to get her money up. I can't hate on her.
But that online bodega that she got selling her shit online, and like someone that this group chat that niggas talking about, someone dropped in there that she got her merch selling through DoorDash or Uber Eats or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can order her merch online like it's food, and your hoodies and sweat album,
which I love.
Yeah, the game changed.
I don't know what she's doing.
I think sure, whatever she's doing for whatever reason, like her and her team, they're making a lot of really great strides. We'll see if it pays off, but I think a lot of this shit is really genius.
Yeah.
Who her publicist? Freshie?
It might be just the first of its kind. The next person might dominate even better.
So that one more time, Street. The next person might what?
They might take advantage of the things she might not have benefited from. Like, for one, she got a higher overhead. So if a person don't have such a higher overhead or pressured up like that, like y'all all spoke on, the next person to take advantage of that may really win.
I think so. I think that
Hey
there's
Gary, make me master moderator real quick.
I think that there's always some lessons to be learned in history, right? Like, not to toot my own horn, or not even toot our own, because it ain't really about me. But when we did the Jeezy campaign, and that Snowman campaign took over on the streets, I know that there are young, especially the young trap rappers, those guys that are still around, these young guys that are still on that. All of them have tried at some point, or have looked at the BMF era, the Jeezy Snowman era, that era of like, oh man, I got to take over the streets. How can I do it? A lot of them just don't have the funds to do so, or the labels haven't deemed it significant enough. They're, like you said, everybody's focusing on digital, right? It's like, we got to go viral. They don't see the value in putting up posters and taking over a street and doing that in just various cities, right? The way that we did, because again, we had to at that time. But I know that these kids are looking at that. One of the other great campaigns I remember when 2 Chainz was doing the Pretty Girls Like Trap Music, he's doing the pink trap houses. Like, there have been cool campaigns that have come over the years that I think people are going to try to go mimic. It's just a matter of figuring out how to pay for these things. For real, for real.
Do you remember that shoebox he did at the Crystals on Northside?
Yes.
Amazing. It was a light. It was the size of the store. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but Chains is Chains. Chains is, I mean, Chains ain't Cardi, but Chains is big enough to where a company, a label, or somebody is willing to give Chains a sizable budget. And his team, Tech and Al and all of those guys, D-Leaks, they've always been very, very clever when it came to the marketing. So, these are all guys that we deal with personally and that we know extremely well. But I do believe that that's where we're heading. Not pessimistic, cynical Isaac, you tell me, bro. So you think Cardi's only doing this because, essentially, like,
You got to
they
listen to
ain't
what she
giving her no money.
literally says in her video. She says, the label says they're not giving me any more money because of Imaginary Players video. So I got to get out here and promote my album. So I'm going to get out here and promote my album. She said that.
We got to believe her.
And then she said, that's why she's doing all these meet and greets, because she got a bunch of meet and greets. She's doing like these physical meet and greets around to market and promote her album around the country. She's doing it like in New York and like doing 2 in New York. Then she's going to Philly or something like that. She's coming to Atlanta. She's doing these physical.
She's doing Atlanta this week, I believe. She's doing DBS, the record store.
Yeah.
So so let me ask you this: you don't think Nicki turns around and does this on her next album? You don't think?
I don't think that's moving.
You don't think Meg does this the next album? You don't think any of the girls who are in that stratosphere, any of them try to incorporate some level of street, boots on the ground, in person, kissing baby, shaking hands type of promo in their next run?
Okay, so let me just. Okay, so you remember like maybe 6-7 years ago? I don't know, whenever it came out. Remember when Old Town Road came out and just took over? Remember Lil Nas X put Old Town Road and just took over? Yeah. Okay, what I'm saying is that nobody's dropping records that have that type of impact right now, that are just taking. Tommy Richmond was the last new artist that put an album out, put a song out that just took over. It's possible. It's not that it's impossible. It's just, and again, this is when I say when hip hop or music is a young person's game. I just think that there is a huge barrier between the young artists coming up and the established artists, and the established artists are sucking up all the oxygen in the room, and they're still in their early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. But I'm like, remember when JD just said, nobody's making records for kids anymore. Like, we don't have a Justin Bieber. We ain't got a Crisscross. We ain't got a Bow Wow. We don't have like the young kids that are taking over. And I don't think the industry is acknowledging young people.
The part of the reason that you're not getting the next T.I., whatever, it's because a lot of the boys are now, the stream was just a hot kid.
Rap isn't your way out.
Yeah, like that ain't what they own no more. So that might be part of the reason why you're not getting it. I don't know.
So we do got a couple of people up here.
Hold on real quick. Let me play this a little bit too. This the record. If you listen, you actually, this the record that everybody's doing. It's a whole compilation, but I'm gonna just play some of it.
Oh yeah. I heard that.
A moment until that.
Yeah, I've heard that one for sure.
Play is done. Yeah, YouTube be doing the most. I don't know if you guys have ever streamed playing YouTube and doing most others too. So we gonna make sure we don't get any strikes or copyrights or anything like that. Let me see if they stopped it. Oh, they playing it a long time. That's the beauty of Fanbase, y'all. Come on over to Fanbase. You can listen to this from the web at fanbase.app/audio. And you can go to the room Monday morning marketing. Are we outside? And you can definitely tap in and listen to this in its full while it's live.
Hold on.
Okay. I think they're playing this artist.
There we go.
Front, back,
I see you up here too,
right, left.
No, wait a minute.
Roblox.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
I don't
that.
think they're the
I've heard that
biggest
song and
one.
seen that video for sure.
So okay, they stopped it.
Yeah, I've never heard that record.
All right.
I think it's like Zeddy Will and Zoe, like that crew that's holding TikTok down, not necessarily these guys.
Bro, it was the same. It was the same thing when they had, what was the Blicky guys. I don't think that the music business is taking. So what the industry would do is take records like Blicky or this record, sign the kids to a single deal, blow them shits up, and be the biggest record in it'll be a top 10 hot 100 record, and that's what it would be about. They're not doing that now. They're not plucking these records from high school obscurity to making them number one records. I don't even like even with what's the name? The Wham Whammy and I'm So ATL. Like those records kind of came and went. Usually, I don't know if the artists are just declining to do singles, but usually those records will get taken and be like, yo, we about to shoot a major video to this. We about to put some real money behind radio behind this, XYZ, and blow it up. They're not doing that.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. And I'm gonna keep this short because I know we got people on stage and I wanna hear them talking, not myself. But a lot of what happened is those kids who had those TikTok records, this generation of TikTok records and all the records that you just talked about, them kids get into these meetings with their management, lawyers, whoever their representation is, and these kids ask for $1 billion, and everybody's like, all right, cool, you got this one song. Yeah, we might can pluck it, like you said, Isaac, can make it a top 10 record or make it a top 2. We put enough money and capital behind it, enough promo behind it, we can get it. But labels started losing money behind these records. These records were quick, faddish records, and then what? That's what happened to the majority of them. If y'all remember them pandemic records, there was so many records that were popping during the pandemic, had all the big challenges and all of that shit. When life opened back up, those records were dead. They didn't exist. Nobody cared. When you played them in the club, there was no reaction. When you played them at radio, they weren't researching well. Those records were great for what they were, which was online. They were cool to do a dance to, but they didn't translate outside. So a lot of it was loss of money to those records. But that's here nor there. So I'm not Isaac. Gary, I know we got people on stage. Let's get to them.
Yo, good morning, Jonathan. I'm gonna come to you right after this, Kay. Jonathan, welcome to the stage. Tell us where you're from and what would you like to add to the conversation?
What's up, y'all? Y'all hear me pretty clear?
Yes, sir. Peace. Good morning.
Peace and blessings to everybody. Man, I'm Houston, Texas, right here. I've been dealing with some people in the music business for a long
You got to speak up a little louder, Jonathan.
Okay. Yeah, Houston, Texas, man. I've been dealing with the music for a long, long time. I'm one of the road managers, Swishahouse, DJ Michael Watts. And I remember back in the days, man, like the music business is still the same. I mean, prior to the internet, nothing against the internet. Prior to the internet, you had to get out there and literally work the record. The DJs, you got to touch the DJs. You got to touch the radio station. Even if they turn you down, you got to go back and let them know, hey, I'm back in your face. I need to get this played. Now, with that being said, the industry has evolved to this pay to play type situation. Not saying you got to have a lot of money, but your connections and the people you meet along that journey is very instrumental so far as your album popping. Nothing against TikTok, nothing against the streamers, but like the gentleman was saying. Once you get past that first 3 weeks, then what? I mean, a lot of people still want to see that work ethic. And when you got that work ethic behind the album, and the album is jamming, and you out there touching everybody, which is why Cardi is doing what she's doing, because the original recipe still works. A lot of people want that microwave success. It's not microwave because the record labels are not eating off the microwave. They're not going to drop all this money for 10 minutes of fame. They want longevity. They want to see, okay, after this, what are you going to do? Can he get out there on his own? Do we got to hold his hand?
Right.
A lot of guys back in the day, they came in the door, they had their own budget, they had their own team. They didn't really need the radio. So when the radio and the industry saw that, and they was touching all the DJs, dropping their album off at the popular clubs, out there, people was like, yo, I respect this dude hustle. If not, Mike Jones. When we saw Mike Jones, I'm gonna tell you what we saw in Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Mike Jones had some songs that was we thought were good back then, still tipping. But you know what got us on Mike Jones? He was touching all the high schools on his own.
Exactly.
He was driving everywhere. Him and his boy on their own. Exactly. They didn't ask us for $1. So they was out there. They was at this high school. They was in this small town.
That automatically makes him a good investment because he's got self-prepared.
That makes him a good. There you go. Yeah. And Mike Jones, they was hitting towns where radio wasn't really that hard. They was hitting these small little towns where you had a lot of people that was buying the music, but it wasn't like the LA. They was hitting these small backdoor towns.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, you create your own buzz. So to when they see that you don't need them, they want you even more. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
There it is.
You got to create your own value, man, and that way you're self-perpetual. That makes you a great investment. You know what I'm saying? Kay, welcome to the stage. Tell us where you're from and what would you like to add to the conversation?
Hey guys, I'm everywhere. But yeah, I have two parts actually. First of all, the Cardi B, I definitely think that the marketing in that way is also part of the marketing, like what Isaac was saying of her talking about how she doesn't have budget, blah, 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 blah. Like that kind of creates a unconscious sympathy, I think, in her target audience. Like, oh man, they won't promote you. Oh, we got to come and support you even more, kind of thing. So I think it's like marketing levels in there. And then also, not to take the conversation off topic, but also beyond music, getting out there and touching people and getting back on the streets, I think may become more popular. Because even me, myself, I was out walking the other day on the beach area and seeing all the people out there and thinking like, this is a missed opportunity. Like I could do something like you're seeing these people do in these YouTube videos where they have a booth out that says like free hugs, or you see them with the booth where they're like, do you need a rest, or can you sing, or all these different kinds of YouTube videos we see where they get the public interacting. Like I think other businesses could find ways to do stuff like that would bring their audience into them, and they're able to, put it on YouTube, maybe go viral. So they're doing both at the same time. I think that might be interesting to see coming forward.
Love all of that. Let me throw you some love. Thank you, Kay. That was great. I agree with everything. And especially the Cardi B point. I think she's definitely building up a little bit of like, oh man, they won't spend money on you, Cardi, like, which is like I say, insane to us, but clever. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it does kind of rally the troops of like, oh, okay, they don't want to give Cardi the crazy budget. Let's show up and show out for Cardi. So I'm with you on that. I love that idea. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this was said earlier, but this really for Cardi really spanned off the court thing. I mean, once the court, she became, those memes and those clips of her in court, I think reminded people how, because, lately we had been seeing Cardi just kind of being, mad about the Offset thing and, just irksome and pissed off about this lawsuit and just, just not really being that personality that she came in with. And then you see her in court being herself and being the star that she is. And I think that really reminded people, well, I fuck with Cardi. I like Cardi. She's funny. Like she's I think she's very relatable, especially to women. And it's spin from there. So like you said, Nick, with the whole they will support you thing, her fans are after court are fully engaged. They're like, well, we're gonna support you. Like fuck the label. It doesn't even matter what the label says. If you show up somewhere, Cardi, we're all there. We're taking pictures. We're showing love. And I don't know what the album's gonna do, but I think her first week numbers are gonna be big. And then if she has a record to hold it up, and it sounds like that bodega record could be it. And she's gonna do it right. But her first week record numbers rather are gonna be huge because our fans are fully engaged.
Sure. What's Cardi's fans' name? Is there a name for them?
Barty Gang.
Barty Gang. There you go. Thank you.
And it's fully her responsibility to as an artist to be able to activate her fans in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be strange and it shouldn't be odd. It shouldn't be outlandish that she breaks that fourth wall and goes directly to her fans. You know what I'm saying? And of course, it's smart to play the sympathy card because, like, that's one of the things that you most easily can activate people with is emotion. Like, hopefully the album's dope.
Agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a few people in the audience. Let me see. I see a Rico down there. I see a Sierra. I see a Dr. Kathy. I want to get them up here if we can before we end this call. Tony Junior, what's up, man? I see Junior Hood Duran is in here. Hollywood, what up? There go the crew. Better late than never. Always good to have y'all on. But yeah, I feel like I don't know if we've answered the question though. What do y'all think? Are we fully back outside? Is that going to be the norm or what? Like,
No.
This ain't gonna be the norm. You saying we just gonna be going back to TikTok, huh? And then
hold on, Drake. Listen, Drake been outside. Drake been outside. It ain't really been working.
We don't want to be outside. Will Drake be outside?
Outside gotta want to see you.
Drake is a global superstar.
With Drake right now.
Drake has been outside, man. It's not. Where's the music at? Where's the song that just shut the whole shit down? We ain't got no records that are just shutting the whole internet down.
Isaac, I do believe I remember hearing you say that Drake should take a year off and be on an island by himself and chill and just reemerge. Like, that's what he need to do. He need to be.
He did kind of take a year off. He took a year off. He had to sit down
against his will. He need to do it.
Yeah, he had to sit down. He had to sit down. Kendrick made him sit down for a while, but I'm saying, where are the records that just take over? We ain't got no records that's taking over.
He might be having a Young Thug problem. They asked Young Thug the same problem. He said, I don't have my people around. I don't have my folks I used to, maybe it's a change there's some changes in the team that's like something's up. I don't know if it's, I know everybody want to blame it on writers and Drake is, I don't want to go down that road, but something's up where he can't pump out that same level of hit that he used to take. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but something's definitely different.
What had happened was he dropped Which One with Central C, but then he was talking shit about us. So we wanted, I love that song when it dropped, but I felt guilty listening to it because he was talking shit. And he has not taken any breaks because he was just on tour and he's dropped music this whole entire time. He do need to be sitting down somewhere. But I think that's what's happening. People, because that Which One song is a bop, but people just not feeling him right now.
Hey, so welcome, Dr. Kathy. Tell us where you're from and what would you like to add to the conversation?
What up, people? I'm from Philly, but I live here in Houston, Texas. If I ain't met y'all before.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome back.
I run a nonprofit called Collaborating Voices Foundation. Very vocal in my community, and I'm still listening to the old school R&B, or I'm listening to conscious woke rappers that have not made the mainstream because they literally have given up on, the music industry as far as them promoting. So they're out here like Cardi B is, but they've been out there like that. So I appreciate you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that. Locked In for Christ. Welcome to the stage. Tell us where you're from. What would you like to add to the conversation?
What's up? Thank you. I'm from heaven. I'm from the kingdom of God. But I'm on brand. So I'm gonna keep it really simple, right? We're back outside for the content, and then we're back inside to edit it. That's it. That's all.
Straight up. I like that. So get outside, high five with some people, make it content, and then go back home. I like it. Short and sweet.
Nah, she kind of ate with that for sure.
Like, she keeping it short and sweet. Boom. Thank you for that. Who else we got?
I know it was another guy down. I think it was Rico or somebody. I don't know if he came up. I sent him an invite. Either way, like I said, I know we're coming toward the end of our call. I mean, the biggest thing is I'm curious to see how this plays out, not only musically, but just for everyone, right? You know, again, bias. You can't take what I say with a grain of salt, because for me, it's great business when everybody wants to be back outside. But I am curious to see if anybody like everything just became so digital and so dependent on social media apps and likes and loves and virality and trying to go viral. But I think we've lacked that connection that we used to have when people were outside, when they could take a piece of you home. I think the thing that Cardi is doing, which I really, really like, is allowing fans to take a piece of her home. The ones who can't afford, I mean, I know Beyonce sells out everywhere she goes, but let's be real, those Beyonce tickets are not cheap. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't show up and bust down $500, $600, $700 for a concert ticket. Not if you got a family. You know, I want to say that you can't, but most people choose not to when they got to make a choice between paying some bills and Beyonce concerts. So when there's an opportunity to get a piece of an artist, get a piece of a brand that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, when I can just show up, like you said, to the bodega. I saw stuff on that DoorDash thing that she's doing where she's like DoorDashing the app. Like there's some cheap items on there. There's like that merch is like they're legitimately bodega items. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not selling. I mean, there is some crazy stuff in there too that's going to be a little pricey, but for the most part, there are little things on there that you can purchase and still be kind of in unison with Cardi and what she's trying to promote right now. So I think it's ideal for an artist like
Nick,
her to do it.
Well, she's
we've been
meeting
on
her
this call.
fans where they're at. You know, everybody doesn't have a lot of money. And so I think I think Cardi knows where she's from. But I think one of the things that's really important to acknowledge is that age group of people don't socialize how we do. And so trying to break them out of this awkward digital socialization space and then meet them with guerrilla marketing, I think she's really proven how that can be done. Coca-Cola's doing things. It's a different type of space. And I think a lot of times when we look at this, we're so used to seeing how things were done when we were in that age group versus we didn't have the social space that they've been in. You know, they're coming up through the pandemic, everything was digital. They were born, everything was digital. So it's just a completely different experience for them.
Nick, we've been on this call for 1 hour. What's the one thing we haven't talked about the entire hour? The music.
Well,
We're not talking about. Nobody's talked about the music. When WAP came out, did it take over?
yes.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it didn't. We didn't. We was inside, and the record took over.
Yes, they wanted to go outside to dance to that record and risk it all and put it all on the line.
When Savage came out by Meg Thee Stallion, did it take over? Yes. Like when Dirk and Cole put out their record, that was a big record. It was a hit record. Nobody's talking about the music. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's the music business. It's not the we outside promote and connect with our fans music. And also, again, I still keep thinking that we're just really skipping over that we're not focusing on the kids. There's like you know how many kids there are, more kids there are now that are connected to social media and high schools and all that kind of stuff with their music that can make records go #1. We're ignoring that whole sector of young people between the ages of like 14 and 18, 19. We're ignoring all of them. They like at the end of the day, they're in their own world. They don't even care about us. That's why I say sometimes we don't realize we the old people. We are the older generation. We are the parents and the grandparents.
It sounds
Now we are not, huh?
Sound like you about to start signing people. That's what it sounds like.
No, it's just like no. I'm just saying, like. So I've spent the last 5 years just keeping my ear to the ground on what is going on, and when I hear these songs, like there's a disconnect because the songs come and go, but I also think that these songs are not being taken and marketed in a way that will become records that kind of take over. They're just not.
Yeah, real quick. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stage. Let's get real quick. Are any of your artists, any of your young artists that you're working with, are they interested in going back outside to promote their music? Street teaming. Ski going once.
I don't think Skia knew you was talking to him. Skia, he talking
He
to you.
ain't in the music business no more.
Yeah, he not.
Skia don't know. Ain't listening to Skia.
I'm missing because I'm in. I got bad service. I don't even know what the question was.
Don't worry about it. It don't pertain to you. You don't do this no more. You old news, boy.
I'm saying like I mean, Antonio has a young artist. You know what I'm saying? Like Antonio's got a young artist.
Yeah, I do. And yes, we are outside with him.
Oh, I am still in the music business.
We've been going to high schools. We've been going to high schools all across Nevada.
What do you mean?
And
I do got like I feel like I feel like SMJ is gonna be like the newest one coming out of Atlanta too. She's like,
but are the young
right in that lane right after like
we're ending the call, but are your young artists going back outside? That was essentially
I
that's
wonder what Junior got. Junior was saying something too.
Go ahead, Antonio.
Yeah, my artists, we actually been going to high schools all across SoCal and Nevada. We literally going to high schools with local radio DJs and performing at lunchtime and creating real fanfare and building his fan base literally one fan at a time with surprise pop-up shows. In California, obviously the weather's good and a lot of times they have lunch outside.
How old is your artist?
Say again?
How old is your artist?
He just turned 18 in July.
Word. How is he taken to being outside?
He loves it. He loves being outside. He loves getting in front of the people. He loves taking pictures. He loves signing autographs and the whole night. He loves being around the people, being able to reach out and touch them. And we are actually going. We're going to be doing. We're doing CDs and we're pressing vinyl because people want to have collector's items now. They want to, like to Nick's point, they want to be able to take a piece of the artist home.
All right, so tell me this real quick because I saw Cardi doing that. How expensive is it for people going to have to start back pressing up their own CDs? Like that was a huge overhead.
It was a huge overhead, but it's worth it at the end of the day. You don't overpress, right? You don't have a huge amount of inventory, right? People can order it offline, and you just fulfill it when necessary. Fulfill the orders when they come in.
All right, boom. That's all I got.
There it is. So listen, it's 11:02. We're gonna wrap this thing up. I appreciate everybody jumping on. We do this call every single Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a good combo. Actually, it's a really good combo. I really want to see kind of where this goes. Like I said, I'm praying that Cardi's album does well because the promo and the effort and the time that she's put into it, I just want to see it pay off because if it does, I think we'll start to see other artists try this and we'll start to see even more creative rollouts when it comes to this. And if it doesn't, everybody's going to say, see, this is why we don't do this. This is why we stick to, making posts and going straight digital. And so for me, selfishly and unselfishly, I just want to see it work just because I want to see where we can take it. I think we're watching the older artists do it, and Isaac, to Isaac's point about that generational divide and that gap, the older artists, the Clips, JD, what he's doing with the promo, the rollout that he's done for Magic City, and kind of how he's been kind of playing things, being out, doing the interviews, doing these campaigns that last months, and kind of mixing in the being outside in that promo. I think it's been great to see it from my perspective. I am curious to see how the kids are receiving it, if they're even seeing it at all, and then what they're taking from it. So it'll be be a nice thing to watch over the next month or so.
I'm looking at the Billboard right now. There is no rap song in the top. Hold on. Top 30. Top. Luther is at number 34. Luther is and then Big X the Plug and Bailey Zimmerman, 34 and 35. So you don't have a rap record in the top 33 records because we're not putting out heat.
What's in the top 10? Just run down the top 10 real quick to me.
You're absolutely right.
The top 10 is that whole Netflix K-pop thing. So that Hunter X, so Golden, Ordinary, Alex Warren, Tears, Sabrina Carpenter, Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter, Your Idol, the Saha Boys, Soda Pop, Saha Boys, What I Want, Morgan Wallen, Love Me Not, Rain, Lene, How It's Done, The Hunter X, Teddy Swims, Lose Control, Daisy, Justin Bieber, Nobody's Son, Sabrina Carpenter, I Got It Better, Morgan Wallen, Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, and Bruno Mars. My Man on Willpower, Sabrina Carpenter. Shabuzi, When Did You Get Hot? Sabrina Carpenter. Good News, Shabuzi. Just In Case, More on Wallen, and Sugar Talking, Sabrina Carpenter. I'm telling you, we ain't putting out no heat, cuz. I'm telling you, ain't nobody putting out no
Absolutely
heat.
right. You're 1000% right.
Ain't nobody putting out no heat.
This is the first time in history that white creators are not taking their cues on what's cool from black creators. They're leading the charge of making great music. We making microwave shit, and it's not sticking.
Yep. There you go.
There it is. It's 11:05. Like the man.
Well, damn.
Want to do that?
I think, and I know we wrapping the call. Being outside had everything to do with that, though. When people were outside making the music and getting their cues from the club and the strip club and kind of being amongst people, the music was better. When everybody was inside trying to become viral and start making music in silos, and the only people who heard it was management, and and that was really it. I think that's what you're getting. Like, they're not taking their cues from us because we taking our cues from fucking TikTok. That's the problem. Like, we're taking our cues from 6 people sitting in a room making an entire album and then going outside and finding out that it wasn't it. We didn't used to do that. We used to know what records were before we ever put them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had proving grounds. We had, spots like Magic City. We had spots in every major city. You could take it to some mixtape DJ, some club, and find out what you had before you had it. And now, I don't know.
Now market research. Now market research is a room with 8 people in it.
Right. Right. Market research is a room with 8 people in it, as opposed to being hundreds, thousands of people who had heard a song and was like, "Oh shit, that's the one. That's the one. Oh my god, I think y'all got some with that one record before it even did anything."
You don't need market research anymore, though.
Bring back new.
You don't need. You know what market research is? I'm gonna tell you. You know what market research is? Shazam. No, Shazam. Shazam.
Okay.
Yeah, Shazam is market research.
Because I used to when Shazam was first out, I used to tell records. I used to tell everybody what the next record was gonna be. Like months when Megan Thee Stallion came out with Big Ol' Freak. When what's that dude from Fayetteville? He had another song that came out that was really big. That they took the Who Can I Run To from Escape. Remember that?
Oh, Luke Nasty. He hard. I like him.
Yeah. So I would be on Shazam saying, "Yo, what is this record that they playing in Houston, like in Dallas and Corpus Christi?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then I listen to it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna go." Or I would listen to his record and be like, "Oh, what's his record in Fayetteville or whatever." You can always see, like, if you get on Shazam and listen to the records that the artists you ain't never heard of before, that's the ones that you know. Those are the ones that the label should be picking up and be like, "Yo, who is this?" And those are the ones that they should be getting by. Because I remember me and Snoop had that conversation. He's like, "Bro, you said Big Ol' Freak by Megan Thee Stallion was gonna blow up like 3-4 months before it blew up." Because I was like, because they was only playing it in Houston. But I used to always check Shazam because Shazam is an indicator. No one's gonna Shazam a record they don't like. So if you're sitting in a red light and you hear something coming out of somebody's car, or you're shopping in an apartment store, or you at school, or you hear it, you're never gonna Shazam a record that you ain't rocking with. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally an instant indicator of what you like. It's great market research because the instinct of a person to Shazam a record that they hear, and then you categorize that. You can go look at all these different cities and see what songs people are actually playing or listening to, and that's how you know.
Yeah, most of the marketing departments are using research and mainly pulling from Shazam, like you're saying, because it's like they're already personally telling you what they're listening to, and they're trying to figure out what song is this, who is this artist.
Boom.
Said it. There it is, man.
Go play.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Say that one more time.
I'm trying to look at the charts right now. I'm trying to look at I'm trying to look at the charts right now. Okay, look, this is it. Look, country city viral charts. So that you can go to like cities, and then I'm gonna pick like Houston or Dallas, and then so Back to Friends by Somber, Take Me Through There by Metro is number 3 in Dallas. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's the one, right? She Ready by Key Glock. I'm a Dog by Sister Tana 1653 and Kevin Gates. Just look for the records that nobody's listening to. Like, what song is this? All the Debts I Owe. I'm just looking at certain records that I know, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because everybody else that's putting all these other songs out, that's not getting it. I'm telling you, if you look at the Shazam charts, that'll let you know what the kids are listening to. The top records: Shot Calling, Young Boy, Take Me Through There, number 2, Folded by Kalani. We Gonna F Tonight, Gunna. Friend Do Remix, Belly Gang, Cushington, and YK Niece. Like, I don't even know what Friend Do Remix is. Y'all know what that is?
Yeah, you should know. You on TikTok every goddamn day. That's one of the biggest songs on there.
Okay, maybe I don't know the title then.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking like Skate by Jid. Skate by Jid Sierra. That's what I'm saying. It's already letting you know. It's already letting you know that's it. That's the market research right there. Affirmation by Flipper T is like, think about that. That Flipper T record should have been a top 10 record.
We do it every day. You ain't wrong.
Affirmations by Flipper T should have been like, they should have grabbed that record, put the bag behind it. That's a top 10 Hot 100 record.
You're gonna have to start back promoting music, Isaac.
No, I'm just telling you, every that Flipper T record, and oh boy, who be around here? He right here in the office every day doing that. That Flipper T record is a top 10 record. There's no way, there's no way that these songs should not be out here.
Who owns Shazam?
Apple Music.
That wasn't a real question. I knew the answer. I just want to see if people knew. So yeah, I've never seen a world where people don't take cues from us, even if they don't know that they're doing it. I just saw this video the other day. A TikToker was going around asking the Koreans, like, where did the Korean barbecue come from? And it was just like, oh yeah, my granddad's making up all these stories. And then it was a white guy too. He's like, well, actually, no. He's like, during the World War, he's like, Black Americans actually taught the Koreans how to actually barbecue. And it was just, the sound came on, doom, doom, like with all of their faces. There'll never be a world where people in this country don't take cues from us, because we invented everything. It doesn't matter what it morphs to. Even I was watching a Cluely kid, the tech guy that raised all that money from A16Z. He's like, yeah, bro, what the fuck? I say, he's talking like a Black American. It's like, I don't care if he has a Korean face. I know where it actually comes from. I just wanted to add that in. Like, there'll never be a world until 300 years from now, all of us die off and 100 years pass, and then new humans come, that anybody on this earth would not take cues from us, because we already created everything. I'm going on mute.
And it's gonna say the benediction. I think that's how we ending it. Shit. All right. So from 10:05 to 11:15ish every Monday. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's about right. That's how we do it. Hey, look, I appreciate all y'all for jumping on. Like I said, we do this just like Gary said, somewhere around 10 to somewhere around 11. I might need to put that on the fly. And we get off, man. But look, everybody enjoy their Mondays. Go do what you need to do. Be productive. Be creative. And we will see y'all next week. All right, man. Love and respect. Peace.
Peace out. Appreciate it.
Later.